Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our YouTube channel called Fast CPA and Consultants. I'd like to introduce our CPA, Fulton Abraham Sanchez. Welcome back, Fulton.
Thank you, Sarah.
If you're here for the first time a few months ago, we started this series called Tax Talks, where you send us your questions through email and social media. And today we're going to discuss accounting for healthcare. Our first question we have is, what is a CPA for healthcare?
CPA for healthcare is a CPA that specializes or has clients within the healthcare industry. The healthcare industry has different subsectors. There are clinics, there are elderly patient care, and there is also activities that are for the rehab. They have rehabilitation for patients. Um, there are other activities, for example, those that give medical attention for the elderly exclusively or for the retirees. It all depends on the different sectors or subsectors that the company has decided to invest in.
Understood. Our second question is, how do accountants manage for healthcare?
It all depends on the activity that the healthcare company is monitoring. Just to give you an example, um, companies, for example, companies that they help or they tend to the elderly or to retirees, the income that they receive come from Medicare. Medicare is a program that is held for the elderly. Medicare is also a tax that we employees pay with the objective that when we retire, we have a medical plan. So that's Medicare. So whenever a company is serving to the retirees, either in healthcare or in rehabilitation or in taking care of the elder, there is always a dealing with Medicare. There's also, for example, pharmacies. To pharmacies who sell to the I'm sorry, pharmacies that sell to the elder, to the retirees. They also deal with Medicare. So Medicare is like a big fund that pays to all the companies that serve to the retirees in healthcare, in any kind of healthcare. There are companies that, for example, transport from one place to another, from home to the clinic to the retirees. There are companies that they give, for example, care for the elder, for the retirees. They keep them for the day, like daycare, but it's for retirees only. They have games, they have haircuts, they have beauty, they have all these services that are not directly health, but they're classified within healthcare because it's care for the retirees. So this is the sector. This is how accountants manage. It all depends on the activity. There's also other activities where the retiree cannot leave home, and then there is a permanent care for the person at home, or it could be temporary, 1 or 2, 3 days, or hours a day, or 1 or 2, 3 days in the week. So it all depends on the activity and of the company with their patients or with their clients, and that will be how the company will receive the income or classify the expenses.
Understood. Our third question is, what is healthcare bookkeeping?
Bookkeeping is the keeping of the books for healthcare. So in this sense, for example, is start with the bank account. The healthcare company opens, then the company opens a bank account and then receives the payment from, let's say, from agencies. There are for example, all those who care at home, retirees, in the middle, there are companies that they deal with Medicare and they subcontract to these companies. So they will receive their income from these middle companies that deal directly with Medicare. Many of these small providers of services do not deal directly with Medicare. They deal with these middle companies and these middle companies are the ones that deal with Medicare. So companies that contract health and contract care at home or contract um, care at and specialized service, for example, all that will be handled by an intermediary. And this intermediary company will deal with the providers of each of these services. And this is how they receive their income. When that happens, then the accounting is straightforward. The bookkeeping is straightforward. Then income is all money received from this intermediary or from Medicare directly, and the expenses are all expenses paid to third parties with the objective of creating that income.
Good. And our last questions. What are the benefits of having a CPA specializing in healthcare?
The benefit will be the understanding of the industry from the CPA and how that knowledge or how that specialization will help the owner of the company to, for example, correctly classify the expenses and also the elaboration of the tax return at the end of the year. And the decisions that the owner must take during the month or during the year for the administration of the business. Just to give you a particular example, what will be easier, dealing with Medicare directly or dealing with an intermediary? Medicare will always require more and more, will have more and more requirements because remember, it's a federal program. So when the owner doesn't have all the licenses or the owner is not able to provide all the requirements from Medicare, then perhaps it will be better to deal directly, not directly with Medicare, but with a provider in the middle. Because it all depends on the ability of the vendor to have this the capital to deal directly with Medicare. And at the end of the year, the correct classification of all the expenses for the elaboration of the tax return.
Understood. So that was our last question for today. Thank you, Fulton, for your time and also information. If you have any more questions regarding this or any other topics, send them to our email or social media. We'll put the link down below for our Facebook private group, and we'll see you on the next video.
Thank you.